Maranello, Italy, 1963. A successful businessman drives through the gates of the most famous car factory in the world. He has a complaint. His Ferrari has a faulty clutch. He knows how to fix it. He is, after all, an engineer. He meets Enzo Ferrari. He explains the problem. He offers a solution. Enzo Ferrari looks at him and says a sentence that would change automotive history forever. "You stick to making tractors. Leave cars to me." The businessman drives home, furious, humiliated, and absolutely certain of one thing. He is going to build a car that makes Enzo Ferrari regret those words for the rest of his life. That businessman was Ferruccio Lamborghini. And within 12 months, he had built a factory, assembled a team of engineers, several of whom had just been fired by Ferrari, and begun work on the car that would start the greatest rivalry in automotive history. Ferrari versus Lamborghini. The Prancing Horse against the Raging Bull. Racing DNA against road car perfection. Italy's greatest export against itself. This is not just a rivalry between two car companies. This is the story of two men, two philosophies, and 60 years of competition that has produced some of the most
extraordinary cars ever built. Today, we break it all down. The history, the iconic cars, the philosophy, the performance, the pop culture, and the only question that matters: which one is truly the greatest? Stay till the end, because this answer will start arguments. To understand this rivalry, you need to understand the two men who created it. Enzo Ferrari was born in Modena, Italy in 1898. From the age of 10, when he watched Felice Nazzaro win the Circuito di Bologna, he was consumed by one obsession: motor racing. He raced for Alfa Romeo through the 1920s and 30s, formed Scuderia Ferrari as Alfa Romeo's official racing team, and in 1947 founded Ferrari SPA in Maranello. The first Ferrari-badged car, the 125S with a 1.5-liter V12, was born that same year. Enzo Ferrari's philosophy was absolute and unwavering. Ferrari built road cars to fund racing. The road cars were a necessary evil. The races were everything. He famously declared, "I build engines and attach wheels to them." Every Ferrari ever made carries that philosophy in its DNA. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born in Renazzo, Italy in 1916, 18 years after Enzo Ferrari. He grew up on a family grape farm, developed a passion for mechanics, served in the Italian Air Force during World War II, and after the war founded a highly successful tractor manufacturing company. By the early 1960s, Ferruccio Lamborghini was wealthy enough to own multiple Ferraris. He was also an engineer good enough to notice when one of them had a problem. The famous meeting between the two men most likely occurred in 1963. Ferruccio went to Maranello with a suggestion about the clutch on his Ferrari 250 GT. Enzo Ferrari, never known for tolerating criticism, dismissed him. The precise words vary across different accounts, but the meaning was always the same. "You are a tractor maker. This is none of your business." Ferruccio Lamborghini founded Automobili Lamborghini in Sant'Agata Bolognese in 1963, less than 50 kilometers from Maranello. He hired Giotto Bizzarini, who had designed the Ferrari 250 GTO engine, after Ferrari fired him after an internal dispute. He hired several other former Ferrari engineers. He built a state-of-the-art factory, and he went to war. Lamborghini's first production car, the 350 GT, debuted at the Turin Motor Show in 1964. It used a V12 engine designed by Bizzarini himself, a man who knew Ferrari's engineering secrets intimately. 13 were sold on the spot. 120 were built in total. For a brand that had not existed 12 months earlier, it was a remarkable achievement. But the 350 GT was only the beginning. In 1966, three young Lamborghini engineers, Gianpaolo Di Lara, Paolo Stanzani, and Bob Wallace, designed something extraordinary in their spare time, without Ferruccio's initial knowledge or approval. They mounted a V12 engine transversely, sideways, in the middle of the car. The result was unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show in March 1966, the Lamborghini Miura. Designed by 22-year-old Marcello Gandini at Bertoni, a mid-engine supercar of breathtaking beauty and shocking performance, the fastest production car in the world at the time, with a top speed of 163 miles per hour. The Miura was so revolutionary that it is widely credited as the car for which the word supercar was first used. When the Miura prototype arrived at the Geneva show, the engine bay was empty. The engineers had not had time to verify it would fit. They filled the bay with ballast and kept the hood locked throughout the show. It did not matter. The automotive world had never seen anything like it. Ferrari's stand was largely ignored. In Maranello, everyone took notice. A total of 764 Miuras were produced between 1966 and 1973. Ferruccio Lamborghini had not just built a car, he had built a new category of car, and he had done it in 3 years from a standing start.
This is the fundamental divide that has defined this rivalry for 60 years. Ferrari lives on the racetrack. Every technology on a road Ferrari traces back to Formula One. The dual-clutch gearbox, active aerodynamics, hybrid powertrains. When you buy a Ferrari, you are buying decades of Grand Prix engineering in a road car. Lamborghini took the opposite path, deliberately. Ferruccio never wanted to race. He wanted to build the perfect Grand Tourer. Fast, refined, comfortable. The money Ferrari spent on Formula One, Lamborghini invested in design and interior quality. A Ferrari feels like a precision instrument, sharp, immediate, unforgiving. A Lamborghini feels like a statement, theatrical, dramatic, impossibly loud. Where Ferrari whispers precision, Lamborghini screams intent.
Every generation of this rivalry produced at least one car that redefined what was possible. In 1974, Lamborghini unveiled the Countach at the Geneva Motor Show. Designed by Marcello Gandini, it featured scissor doors that opened vertically, a design so futuristic it seemed impossible. The Countach was the poster car of an entire generation. It appeared on bedroom walls around the world. It became the visual definition of what a supercar should look like. Ferrari answered with the F40 in 1987. Built to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary, the last car personally approved by Enzo Ferrari before his death in 1988. A twin-turbocharged V8 producing 478 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, top speed of 201 miles per hour. No carbon, no radio, no driver aids, just engine, chassis, and speed. Lamborghini responded with the Diablo in 1990. Then the Murciélago in 2001, a name given to a famous bull that had survived a bullfight so impressively that the Matador had spared its life. Then the Aventador in 2011, with its carbon fiber monocoque chassis and a naturally aspirated V12 producing 691 horsepower. Ferrari countered with the Enzo in 2002, named after the founder himself. Formula One technology in road car form. 660 horsepower, only 399 were built. Then the LaFerrari in 2013, a hybrid hypercar producing 950 horsepower combined, with Formula One kinetic energy recovery technology fitted to a road car for the first time. Every generation, every decade, both brands produced something the world had never seen before. And both brands did it because the other existed.
No two car brands have penetrated popular culture more completely than Ferrari and Lamborghini. Ferrari built its cultural presence through exclusivity and racing glory. The red cars of Scuderia Ferrari are the most recognized racing vehicles in history. Ferrari has competed in Formula One since the World Championship began in 1950, longer than any other team. They have won 16 Constructors' Championships and 15 Drivers' Championships. The Prancing Horse badge is recognized in every country on Earth. Lamborghini built its cultural presence through pure visual impact. The Countach on the bedroom wall, the Diablo in every video game of the 1990s, the Murciélago in The Dark Knight, driven by Bruce Wayne himself, the Aventador in music videos and Instagram posts in the hands of athletes and musicians who wanted the most dramatic possible statement. Where Ferrari said legacy, Lamborghini said spectacle. Ferrari tends to attract older buyers who grew up watching Formula One and value racing heritage. Lamborghini tends to attract younger buyers who want the most visually aggressive, head-turning car they can buy. Neither group is wrong. Both groups are buying something extraordinary.
In the current generation, both brands have entered the era of hybrid power, and both have done it in completely different ways. The Ferrari SF90 Stradale uses a twin-turbocharged V8 combined with 3 electric motors to produce a combined output of 986 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, a top speed of 211 miles per hour. The SF90 is a car that requires a skilled driver to use properly, and in the hands of one, it is virtually unmatched. The Lamborghini Revuelto, the successor to the Aventador, launched in 2023, uses a naturally aspirated V12 combined with 3 electric motors to produce a combined 1,001 horsepower.
1,001 horsepower. The naturally aspirated V12 revs to 9,000 RPM. The sound it produces has been described by multiple automotive journalists as the greatest engine note currently available in any production car, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. On a racetrack, the Ferrari SF90 is generally the more capable car. In a straight line, the Revuelto's additional power and extraordinary engine sound make the experience more theatrical. Both cars exist at the absolute pinnacle of road car performance, and the gap between them has never been smaller.
After 60 years of this rivalry, which one wins? If you want the brand with the deepest engineering heritage, the brand that has competed at the highest level of motorsport for over 70 years, that has produced some of the most technically advanced road cars ever made, that carries the personal legacy of one of the greatest automotive visionaries in history, choose Ferrari. When you buy a Ferrari, you are not just buying a car, you are buying Enzo Ferrari's obsession made physical. If you want the brand born from the greatest act of revenge in automotive history, the brand that invented the supercar, that has consistently produced the most visually dramatic cars in the world, that carries the memory of a man who was told he could not compete and proved everyone wrong, choose Lamborghini. When you buy a Lamborghini, you are not just buying a car, you are buying Ferruccio Lamborghini's fury made beautiful. Ferrari is what Italian automotive excellence looks like when it comes from the racetrack. Lamborghini is what Italian automotive excellence looks like when it comes from wounded pride. And 60 years later, both answers are equally magnificent. Here is the extraordinary truth. Neither brand would be what it is today without the other. Ferrari forced Lamborghini to be extraordinary. Lamborghini forced Ferrari to keep improving. Every time one raised the bar, the other cleared it. And the beneficiaries of their war have been watching the greatest automotive competition in history for 60 years. 1963, Enzo Ferrari tells Ferruccio Lamborghini to stick to making tractors. 1966, Lamborghini unveils the Miura at Geneva. The automotive world coins a new word, supercar. 1988, Enzo Ferrari dies. His legacy continues in every red car bearing his name. 1993, Ferruccio Lamborghini dies. His raging bull continues charging. Today, both brands are building hybrid hypercars producing over 1,000 horsepower. Both are still within 50 kilometers of each other in Emilia-Romagna, Italy. And the argument started by a faulty clutch has never been resolved. Ferrari or Lamborghini? The Prancing Horse or the Raging Bull? Racing legend or road car perfection? Which side are you on? Drop your answer in the comments right now and tell us why. And if you want more content like this, subscribe to Crank Clash. We drop car rivalry content every single week. See you in the next one.